Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would show you my makeup routine from start to finish. And it is going to be in real time, so this may take a little bit longer because I'm yammering at you in between and explaining things. On my nails today is the Deborah Lipman. And this is When We Touch, I think, or Everything We Touch, or Every Time We Touch, or something like that. But it's a nice bright coral, and I think it's perfect for spring. And you know, when your nails are bright, you just get that little flash of color. Sometimes it can really perk you up. So, I generally feel that skincare is probably one of the most important things that you can do before you put makeup on. So I do have a wash to take my makeup off, then I have a second wash to take all of the excess and that off, and then I use an exfoliator, then I use a serum. I'm working on my rough skin here, and then I use a moisturizer, and then I use it's a product that has SPF in it. Right now I'm using Australian Gold, but I'm going to be using something else soon, as soon as my Sephora order comes in. It's delayed right now. It's driving me nuts. So I will be probably showing you my skincare routine soon, but I've got a few things going on. Also hair care, which is something new for me. So the makeup routine is going to start about 20 minutes after I put the SPF product, the sunscreen product on. I like to wait. I have my coffee, look at my emails, usually 20 minutes to a half an hour, and then I'll come in and sit at my makeup table and put my primer on and my concealer and all that stuff. So I'm going to take you back in time here and show you how I got to here from that point of having just the sunscreen and all the moisturizer and all that stuff on. So I hope you enjoy the transition. It is quite a change. As you know, when we get into our 60s, our skin and our bodies tend to start changing a lot. Let's just say changing, challenging, changing. I noticed a lot of changes in my skin in the last 3 years. My eyelids have gotten very, very wrinkly and squidgy, and underneath there are a lot more lines. This has become much more prominent, and these jowls have become much more prominent. St. Bernard jowls, I call them. So, you know, I do things a little bit differently than I did when I was 30 because my face is a little bit different than it was when I was 30, and things react differently. Now, I have kind of dry skin. My skin color, if you want to use a base, is Fenty 190, or it's MAC NW22 is my skin color. So let's go back in time and I'll show you how I went through my makeup routine to get to my work basic look, and then I kicked it up a notch with a brighter lipstick and the false lashes for an evening look. So we'll see you soon. Magic of video. See if I can click it back. Okay. This is the real deal here. This is the 62-year-old that I wake up to in the morning. Now I have already cleansed my face, exfoliated, added serum, and moisturized, and I have now gotten to the point where I'm at my makeup table, and I am going to start with Bobbi Brown. And this is just the face base. I get the mini one because I stick my finger in it. Just a little bit goes a long way, and I just put it where I actually really need to have smoothness. I use a primer to smooth out my skin. I don't know if it helps your makeup stay on longer or not. I just need a good smooth base, so that's what I do with my primer. Now if I have some real big dents, which I do, I will use this Clarins Instant Perfecting Touch. And this is a little bit kind of of like spackling putty when you're spackling a wall. I have a lot more texture down in this area. I don't know if it's from drooling or what, but a little TMI there. But I've got a lot of texture here that I never used to have. So I'm like just filling in the pores a little bit, and right up here, filling in the 11s. So between these two things, I can do pretty well with getting a nice smooth surface. Now, if I have any really red spots, like on my chin, I use the IT Cosmetics, and this is the Bye Bye Redness Cream. And I'm just going to stick that right on there. And this is underneath my makeup, so you don't have to worry. And I've got this spot here I'd like to kind of neutralize a little bit there. So I use this also on the edge of my eyes. People think often that I have not blended my eyeliner correctly, or that it's drooped down way below where it should be. And it's really, it's the shadowing from the little creases at the edges of my eyes. And so I think a lot of us have this. After I saw so many changes just in the last 5 years. My eyelids are very crinkly, and there's all these new gels and things. La, la, la. Okay, so, all right, so that's the IT Bye Bye Redness, and I use that. A lot of people have rosacea and things. Here's some more here. Look at this. Just can't keep up with it. Just going to put that over there just to neutralize those, so when I put my makeup on, my skin looks a little bit more perfected. And there's one here right over my eyebrow. I had a scar there from when I was a kid, reaching up. I don't know if it was walnuts or M&Ms or something in a bowl on top of the TV, which was a big thing. I reached up and I fell, and I hit my head against it, and I made a permanent scar. Okay, so now for foundation. There's not really a whole lot on Sephora I like for foundation. I do have a Guerlain foundation on its way, but Sephora just sent me an apology letter, and they said that their stuff from the spring sale is running late, and they apologize. So as soon as that comes in, I'll do it like that. But right now, what I do is I just take some, this is just plain old CeraVe moisturizing lotion, and then these are my Derma Blend drops. Unfortunately, they're from the competitor Ulta. This is N25, and I'm just going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, probably a little bit more than 4. I think mixing, you know, if you're not mixing on your hand, if you're mixing for somebody else, it's a good idea to use a glass plate, and you can use a Q-tip to mix it together. But the thing about these drops that I like is that you can mix them into anything, and it makes a perfect makeup, or in this case, a tinted moisturizer. So I'm just going to dot it all around first with the sponge, and this is the Beauty Blender sponge, the original one. None of the others have the same consistency as this. I know there's lots of imitations, and there's lots of them that will just do, but the only one that has the exact feel and bounce is this one. And I like this one, the original Beauty Blender. I just wish it wasn't 20 bucks, but it is on sale right now, but that only takes a little bit off, like a couple bucks. So I'm bouncing that on. And if I want to have a little bit more coverage, I can actually use this straight up, which, you know, just a couple of drops will do. This is very skin-like when it goes on, which is very good because some makeups can really look cracked and dry on older skin, because our skin does have a lot of cracks in it. some makeups accentuate those cracks by making them shiny or filling them in funny or not filling them in. So, okay, a pretty good match there to my skin. So again, that's the Dermablend drops and CeraVe moisturizer mixed together. I am just going to let that dry. Now, holding my hair in here these are clips. These are kind of neat. It's a clip on one end, and on the top it's flat so that it won't mess up your hair. Some people get a little clip mark on your hair if you use a regular clip, but these are great, and they do sell these at Sephora. So they hold your hair out of your face. You really need to have your hair out of your face when you're working. Now, I always turn my mirror around and have a quick look, especially around the hairline. Our eyes are not so good, and I think that's why old lady makeup look kind of gets a bad rep, because we don't see all the details. Sometimes we miss how blotchy our makeup looks. This is the Touche Éclat. This is the Radiance. 2 clicks, and I am just going to you don't need a lot, just a little, and then I'm taking my ring finger and I'm just pressing that in, just on that inner corner especially area. I don't have a lot of darkness under my eyes, thank goodness, but this is a brightener. It's not so much a concealer. And the Bye Bye Redness took away a lot of the spots on my face. So I really like this because it does set really nicely and it doesn't crease. For in the eyes, I'm going to use, this is my MAC Light Plus. This is a nice light powder. I'm just pressing it a little bit into the skin. I don't want to have too much powder on my face, and yeah, I do my face first. A lot of people don't like that. I think that it's a personal choice, and whatever you started doing when you were younger is kind of what you keep going with, and that's how I feel anyway. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. And this is the contour wand. I'm just going to show you. I've really used this a lot. So that's what it looks like. It's this big blob of stuff. What you can use, if you want to use a brush, just use a brush here. You can use it like this. But I like to use my fingers to blend it out. You can see it just gives me a little bit of dimension here. I think the fingers work the best for blending it out. I was just showing you both ways so you can see. Now, right behind the gel, I like to go right there on the bottom. Trying to blend out my hair there. My hair was down in there. Okay. Okay, you can see it clearer there. Just gives an optical illusion of dimension. Now for blush, I'm kind of hard pressed between the Charlotte Tilbury and the Hourglass. Now this is Hourglass's Mood Exposure from Hourglass. These are the cute little minis, and then we have First Love from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not sure which one to use, gosh. And I just start from right about here and work up with the blush. I don't go further than that. Now Mood Exposure is kind of a more neutral color, so it's a little This is a little more forgiving for any skin tone. Of course, under studio lights, it's hard to see any of them. For highlighter, this is the Benefit Cookie highlighter. And I'll just show you, this is really quite, it can be very bright or just a subtle hint of sunshine. Use it in here as well, and on the inside of your eyes, just add a little bit of light catching. You can also use it right at the peak of your brow, just a little dab will do ya, and then right here in the center of the nose. Okay, and that was Benefit. Moving on to eyebrows. This is Benefit also. I like to first start off with a pencil, and I check on the inside of my nose. I make a little line. Inside of the nose, make a little line. My eyebrows are a little different on each side. I sort of get them similar. What is it they say? Sisters, not twins. You don't have to make them twins, but sisters is nice. And I don't like to make them too big or too boxy because it can look unnatural on an older person to have big boxy eyebrows. This is the little Benefit Gimme Brow, and this is a gel with a brush, and you can kind of brush up your eyebrows, and it deposits color on the hairs themselves, which is good. If you have gray or white hair, I've been inclined to use a hair for men. I use a hair color on my eyebrows, but in between all of that, like we're kind of fudging right now during the pandemic, but okay. And looking up in my magnifying mirror, I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a tone down here. You can see it's a little too obvious. Just gonna brush that down and brush it back up so I take some of that excess off the top so it doesn't look like I just painted something on my face. Okay, so that's the brows. Moving on to eyeshadow. Right now, I'm really enjoying the Norvina palette, and it's very odd because I'm not a huge fan of Norvina, for one thing. I sprayed the heck out of this, but this is the Norvina palette, and what I'm going to do is take this light matte color here, and I'm just going to my brush in there, and I'm going to do the whole area. I'm going to switch over to this one now in the Rose Edit palette, and I'm just going to swoosh this on just above the mobile eye, above the crease. That's about a ½ an inch width, I would say, above the crease, and you can see the difference in the two. I'm just gonna keep swishing it until it's really feathered out on the edges, sheared out. You're buffing it in, so to speak. Going back in, halfway in and out. And my eye shapes are slightly different from one side to the other. So I put the makeup on a little bit different on one side than the other. I have to go up a little higher with one. This has a stronger protrusion of overhang, so I have to go a little bit higher with it so it looks similar to the other side. Again, sisters not twins is okay. And I'm shearing out the edges. I'm just using my finger to kind of blend the inner part a little bit better. Going back in there. I'd rather use a little amount and keep working it up than use one big blob and whoosh it around. It really can look patchy and muddy if you do it that way. So if you just take a little, and you'll see any makeup artist when they're doing it, they tend to take quite a while to add different shades slowly to each other. They don't put a big blob of color and move it around. Okay. I'm going to take a little of this kind of orangey color and just go along the edge here. And I think that kind of transitions the darker into the lighter. It's not quite as harsh. It also takes out any of the harsh lines that are on the edge there. Okay. Oh, let's see. How about something light? Now this is kind of a coppery, shimmery shade. So what I'm going to do is I have a tiny little brush here, you can see it. And I'm just going to start here on the edge and work about halfway down. Halfway down. Okay, I'm going to use this darker shade again. And the last third of the lid, just up to the crease, just the last third, and then work that up into the line a little bit. And again, same thing on this side, last third. You can see it's kind of really giving me a little bit more oomph. Now I have a center strip here that I call my colored bar, and what I think I'm going to do is use some of this blue with my finger. I'm just going to go up and down my color bar and work it towards the outer. Same thing on this side, color bar, and then work it out towards the outside. And then I'm going to take a little of this kind of shimmery color, and I'm just going to kind of meld it into that inner half of the lid, just to sort of introduce it to that blue color. That way it doesn't look quite so patchy, but the color's there. Going to use a Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner. It's going out here. It's one of her chameleon shades. I don't know if she still has this even. It's down to a nib. It used to be quite a long eyeliner. And this is chameleon. It's Amber Moon is the name of this shade. I don't think it's made anymore, but you can use any kind of a brown or a charcoal gray if you're a cool tone person. And again, I'm just kind of emphasizing that outer edge. I am going to curl my lashes. And this is the Tarte eyelash curler. I'm not going to curl them too much because if you curl them too much, they'll bang up against the overhang. Okay, lower lashes is the IT Cosmetics. This is the Tight Line mascara. This is perfect for the lower lashes. It's also good for upper lashes, but I use something else for that. You don't have too much product there, and it's so tiny that you can reach the inner part without being all sloppy messy. And now this is my favorite mascara. This is Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. And I'm just going to the old Mary Kay way, which is jiggle jiggle up, jiggle jiggle up, jiggle jiggle up, and then up, 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 jiggle jiggle up, jiggle jiggle up, jiggle jiggle up, 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 up. This is one of those mascaras that works better after you've had it open for about a week. You've been using it for about a week. Something happens with the air mixture in there, and it makes it really, really a wonderful mascara with plenty of volume. What I like about it is even on a really hot day, it will not transfer or flake onto my lower lid area or on my upper lid area. So I think it's a great mascara. It's one of the best I've used. I also like Thrive Cosmetics Lash Extension Mascara. That one is a tubing mascara, and what it does is it coats your lashes with little inner tubes pretty much, and at the end of the night you can wash those off by gently pulling them all, and they look like little spider legs washing down your sink. Now if a mascara's holding really well on your eyelashes, it's usually not real easy to take off, so I have to use a makeup remover or coconut oil to take off my mascara. There you go. Still with me? This is real time, so you know that can be, real time can be a lot of time. But what else are you doing today? Okay, this is a MAC lip liner. I don't buy everything from Sephora. I mean, some things I have to buy from them because they're the only ones who carry that brand. But personally, I'm not a big fan of Sephora. But I always buy stuff during their sale. Okay, this is my nude go-to everyday kind of lipstick. This is Bitch Perfect. Okay. Now what I would do at this point, this is my all-nighter spray from Urban Decay, and it's really nice to have a setting spray at the end, especially if you're going to be going to an event that you know is going to be hot, long, or you're not going to be able to fix up your makeup at all. Take one look in to see if there's anything that needs to be corrected, any pieces of mascara or eyeshadow on your face, and if it looks good, you're good to go. Okay, so we're going to kick it up a little notch and take it to the glam side. These are the Ardell Natural number 118s, and I thought I would throw some false lashes on. Now always, these are a little bit longer than my eyes. I have kind of short eyes, so I always have to take off like a ½ inch on each side. So I just cut right into them on each side from the outside. And I just pull these off with my thumb really hard along the bottom. Now false lashes come with a little bit of glue on them, and that's really just to hold them onto this tray. It's not the glue that's going to hold them onto your eyes. You do definitely need glue. So you can see what I cut off of the edges. And I'm just going to put a little light line of black liner right along the edge of my lashes. And this is the KVD Vegan Beauty liner, tattoo liner. This was formerly Kat Von D's eyeliner. She has left the company and they have regrouped. And you do need that time to set up. You do need that to have time to dry. There's a debate whether or not you should do it before or after. If you do it before, sometimes it can interfere with how well it can adhere to your eyelids, or it can slop around with it. But if you put it on before, it fills in any gaps when you put that on. If you're kind of bad about putting on your false lashes, when you put it on there, it's not noticeable because you don't see a big old space of white skin or light color skin in my case. I'm going to use, this is Pure for the eyelash glue, right on my eyelid itself. Crazy, right? And then I'm just going to take a little and put it on the very edges of the outside of the lash. Just to give it a little extra adhesive there. And then with this method, you can literally put the lashes on immediately. Now you can use a tweezer to do it, or your fingers. And it just drops on there. I like to press it as well. And we'll put the other side on now. And just using your fingers can have the same effect if you know where you're placing it. Now I also have this little contraption that will adhere your lashes with the false lashes. So now we're going to take that up glam. I'm going to use my Hourglass. You can see me, which is a brighter shade. And I'm just going to go right on over the top. Sort of a day to night look. And let me fix my hair and I'll be right back with you. So here is the finished look, and I think it came out pretty good. It's quite a big difference from what we started with. So even though, you know, the 60s is a huge change time for our bodies, our faces, our attitudes, and people's attitudes about us, I think that you just stay positive, put your best face forward, and I hope you all are having a wonderful week and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.